Yo, yo, what up, people? It's your boy Rikus. Um, I wanted to do a video to give you all some insight on what it's been like here for me. I haven't talked much about what I had going on. For all of you that do know that I had PKD, which is polycystic kidney disease. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means I had numerous cysts on my kidneys that continue to grow, and they cause your kidneys to enlarge dramatically. Um, I was going to take you through what I have uh, gone through dealing with this situation up until now, um, because there's news to give you at the end of all of this. Well, first of all, I found out about the kidney disease when I was a child. I got it from my father. None of my kids have it, thank God, because it's a hereditary disease. Um, but I found out playing football, and I got popped real good. It caused me to bleed pretty badly. Um, Ended up going to the hospital. Ended up having a CT scan done, and it confirmed that I had the PKD, polycystic kidney disease. Uh, Went through life just fine. Did ROTC, excelled pretty well at that. I ran track. I couldn't do any contact sports or anything like that. And I sung. Yeah, y'all know I used to sing. I used to sing pretty well. Outside of that, I self-taught drummer. Played the drums for a good while for church, and made music. I recorded some stuff, and it went pretty well. But just to bring you all up to date and uh, to get past a lot of the, childhood stuff, because I really never had many complications with it. It was a super painful ordeal that I had to deal with. It was definitely painful. As I got older, they got bigger. The bigger they got, the worse the situation got, and the more painful that it got. It got to a point where I was passing blood clots. Um, and my right kidney was giving me a lot of pain, excruciating pain. It was blocking me from being able to urinate. Um, so the doctor decided what we needed to do. The best thing to do, our best option was to remove the kidney. Um, I said, fine, let's do whatever we got to do. Let's do it. Right before, right before being prepped for surgery, the doctor decided it was best, let's just take them both. Um, I jumped at the idea, okay, cool, let's do that. I didn't think about it at first, but then it dawned on me, wait a minute, I never heard of anybody uh, who lived without two kidneys. But it was possible. So we did it. So we did the surgery. And sure enough, I've lived almost 5 years now without kidneys. Um, obviously, on dialysis, but I was going to run through what life has been like with that. December 7th of 2018, both kidneys were removed. December 8th of that same year, the very next day, I had a PICC line in my neck and in my jugular, and I started dialysis. So a lot of people ask, what it's like to be on dialysis. It's like having your entire body put into a blender while working 16 hours a day on a construction site, moving concrete bags all day long, nonstop with no break, and getting punched in your face all day long. That's what it feels like. That's what you deal with, basically. In a nutshell, those of you who are on dialysis, you know what I'm talking about. It beats you down. It wears you out. It completely takes a full toll on your body. Um, Starting the dialysis, um, doing the dialysis in the beginning, um, wasn't such a pleasant experience because of the fact that I died. I literally flatlined. I went away from here, not knowing that the reason was because I was allergic to the dialyzer that they were using. We find out they tried another dialyzer and same thing. It put me on the machine and it completely felt like somebody just pulled all the oxygen out of my lungs. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do anything. I was choking and I was going away from here again, basically. Only to find out that I was allergic to that dialyzer also. The dialyzer, for those of you who don't know what that is the artificial kidney that your blood goes through the cleansing process of dialysis. Um, it has this fluid that's already in there, and that's what I was allergic to, the fluid that they use inside the dialyzers. We finally found one that more was more gentle on my system, and I wasn't allergic to. It's a smaller one, but it got the job done, basically. If I could have used one of the other ones, it could have cleaned more blood better, I guess. That's how that's how they put it. But due to the allergic reaction of the dialyzer, I died, basically. Um, so I ended up getting a port put in my chest. I had a line here in my chest in my right side of my chest, and that did okay. But for a while, it's something to get used to have this tube hanging out your body. Um, that was kind of painful. It was sore for a while there. Your body got to get used to something like that. So, but I had it for a good while. It lasted me uh, right about a year, if not right over a year. I ended up with that port there without any problems. I ended up catching an infection, which is one of the things that is expected when you have a port like that. You end up, it's very, very, very easy to catch an infection with those things. So that's why they want you to have a fistula done in your arm or whatever, because there's less risk for infection. Anything hanging out your body, pick up germs and stuff from the air, whatever. And it's very easy, like I say, it's very easy to get an infection that way. If you notice, I'm looking over because I had to write some of this stuff down to give it to you in order. Um, I ended up getting a blood clot in my jugular vein next. That blood clot got in my jugular vein. It felt like I couldn't turn my head, like I had a crook in my neck, but the pain was different. It was dull. It felt more internal than muscular. Ended up going to the hospital, not knowing what it was, and just so happens I had a big blood clot in my jugular vein after they did an X-ray and then they did a CAT scan, and that it showed up. Put me on blood thinners. I was on blood thinners. I did almost a week in the hospital trying to get what they call therapeutic, so that what's called your INR, it's how long it takes your blood to clot. I had to wait for that to get to a certain point before I would be declared therapeutic. So then I could take the regular meds that would keep me at a therapeutic level. Um, Not too many side effects from that med or whatever like that, but it was something just to be mindful of. After that, I had a problem going on with my chest. It was starting to hurt. I ended up getting another CAT scan and an MRI done. And basically, what happened was I had an artery that was being clogged up near my heart. So they went in, they put a stent in my heart and the artery leading to my heart. That stent opened up my blood vessels just fine, and no problems with that since then. After this stent, I actually ended up with fistula surgery. I'm going to show you pictures of my kidneys and my fistula surgery aftermath. Later on, I'll uh, show you guys what I kind of went through with that. That was not pleasant at all. I my hand blew up like Professor Clump and Nutty Professor. If you guys saw that when he was driving the car and his hand blew up real fat, it was so big I couldn't even bend my knuckles. I couldn't bend my hand. I couldn't bend my wrist. I couldn't do anything but just let it hurt. Some of you might have saw the pictures before on my Facebook page. I believe I put it on my Facebook page for you guys to see. Um, if I did, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put them up on here. Okay. Um, that was a serious surgery. That was how do I want to put it? Not something I want to go through again. Um, best decision I ever made though when it came to doing the dialysis, not knowing how long I would have to be on dialysis because it completely feels so much more better getting off of dialysis each time I had to go, which was 3 days a week, 4 hours for each session. Um, that was Monday, Wednesday, Friday um, for the past 5 years. Uh, basically, you have better energy. It cleans your blood better. Um, you still have the symptoms of doing the treatment or whatever, but it's nothing like when you have the port. Some of you all may remember my mom putting a post out about getting a kidney for me. Some of you all donated. Again, I'd like to say to you here now, formally again, thank you for all of the donations that you sent. Thank you for all of the love offerings, whatever you want to call it. We definitely appreciate it. We needed that. And so that mom could be tested and everything. And we were able to get the test. So mom was 100% match. For those of you who don't know, mom was 100% a match for me. The problem and why we didn't end up with getting the surgery back then was because they said we were a go for surgery. But they ended up making her test one more time for her A1C. Her A1C was 3 points off. 3 points away from the goal. Mom fought as much as she could, as hard as she could, and tried to get them to allow her to, get her numbers together or whatever. Take a couple months, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Exercise, eat a little bit better. Get her numbers together. And they told her no. She's no longer a viable candidate for transplant. So I have to wait. I would have to wait until something else came along. They wasn't going to allow her to donate. If you're a mopping and there was a bunch of bull. You feel me? Yeah, that was crazy. I still feel some type of way about that situation, but what can you do about it? Can't force the people to let you do what it is that they don't want to do. So it is what it is. So I dealt with it for more years. 4 years later, basically. Throughout that time, let me see. Oh, yeah. So nothing at all kind of changed except for the fact that I ended up going to work I guess you could say. I started working. I started trying my hand at work and going into work and stuff like that. I went to school and I became certified as a phlebotomist. Um, I didn't stop there. I guess you could say I was addicted to achievement after that because I ended up going and getting my license to I got my record cleaned and stuff. For those of you who know my background, you already know what's up. I ended up getting my record restored, all my rights and stuff restored. Um, After that restoration period, I said, well, I want to put my license to work for me. The only best way to do that was to become security. I got into security. I became a licensed armed security guard, and I'm currently still working in that field. And I love it. I do. I really do. Um, I kind of jumped ahead of what, all the things I wanted to put you guys through. But anyway, I got a call for a possible transplant on November 7th. I was a secondary on that kidney. Like I said, God bless him or her, whomever it was the kidney went to. I hope that everything is going good for them. But we didn't get it. Ended up getting another call 21 days later on the 28th of November of 2022. And went in, I had video of that night. That was crazy. It was crazy. We were so ready. They ended up prepping me for surgery. I was completely prepped and ready to go. And only to get the call to say that the kidney wasn't for me. It was for whoever that person was. I was secondary on that kidney too. Those of you who know, what God has for you is for you. If it's not meant for you, it's just not meant for you, and you can be mad, you can be whatever you want to be, but the best thing to do is just to keep the faith, keep pushing forward, and know that at some point in time, if it's meant for you, God's going to bless you with it. So we just continued to keep the faith. We kept pushing, we kept moving forward with what it is that, we were doing. We got back into our routine. We didn't let it get us down. We didn't let it stop us. Did it hurt? Absolutely. You go through so much only to realize that it's almost over. This is the moment, and then they tell you no. So you can imagine how we all felt when it came to that. Everyone was so excited. Um, I ended up almost wanting to give up that time. But my family is what kept me strong. Just the thought of my children and my wife and everything. I couldn't let go. I couldn't stop. I had to keep going. So like I said, keeping that faith and moving forward. Like I said, it was hard, but it's doable. They say you won't put anything more on you than you can bear. And here I am to tell the story. But I ended up getting a port in my groin. That was my choice. I had to stop using my fistula because they had destroyed my arm. Missing my fistula, missing the vein, missing everything. It completely destroyed my arm, and it started feeling as though they were sticking me directly like I had a ball of nerves in my arm or something that they were piercing, and it was too painful. I couldn't go through it. So I got the port that was put into my groin. That was where I did my dialysis from. I ended up with a blood clot in my thigh. I also ended up at that time getting a graft put into my arm. They removed the fistula from my arm. They put a graft in there. It's basically a graft is a rubber tube that they connect to your arteries or whatever, and you stick that instead of going directly into the vein. I wish the fistula was better, but when it comes to the graft, I mean, it is what it is. You can't really there's no way to really get rid of the pain of being stuck, you know, every morning for dialysis. I mean, you just got to deal with that. Eventually, you get used to it, and you know, your arm just your body just adapts to it. You know, it gets to the point where it knows, well, get ready to go through this, and it kind of numbs itself. So it doesn't hurt as bad as when you first started. You know, you kind of know what to look for. Um, Bring things up a little bit closer. Um, I ended up getting pneumonia, and they ended up finding what's known as a cavitary lesion in my lungs. Got hard to breathe, couldn't figure out why, what was going on. Ended up coughing up blood, passing out in front of my home. Um, I thought I had overloaded, meaning I had put too much fluid on between dialysis sessions, but I knew I didn't on purpose. I had restricted myself from how much fluid I could take. Meaning, so that you all have an understanding of what I'm saying, I was only allowed 32 ounces of fluid for every 24 hours. That was it. That was my restriction. 32 hours of fluid. That means even anything that was solid that turns into fluid at room temperature, I had to count as fluid. Jello, watermelon, whatever, anything that had fluid in it, I had to take that into account. That was part of my fluid intake for the day. Did I stick to the 32 ounces of fluid? Absolutely not. There's no way in the world that I was going to be able to live off 32 ounces of fluid. I I just didn't. I tried my best. I did, but you're allowed more than that. Your body can take more than that. As you do the dialysis, you kind of figure out, you know, where your balance is. You know, I know, you know, most of the time I would save a lot of my drink for the evening for my meals. Um, they tell you, you know, eat frozen grapes and hard candies. As most of y'all know, that's what happened to my tooth right here. That's how it broke off. I got into eating Jolly Ranchers, and it broke my tooth. So most of y'all now know why my tooth is chipped. You know, I used to didn't have that. Um, but that's part of the process with dialysis. Dialysis also makes your bones weak. It removes calcium from your body and stuff like that. Plus, I'm not a big milk drinker because I think that's just nasty. But so I didn't get a lot of calcium in my diet. Outside of that, either way, I would take the supplements. They would give it to me that I'm anemic. That has happened because of the kidneys being removed and stuff like that. Um, but I ended up with the pneumonia. I ended up with the cavitary lesion. I ended up getting the meds that I needed for that. That cleared up. I got a call that my sister, Melita, my baby sister, I think about it and I try my best not to get emotional behind this because that girl's my hero. It is what it is. She's my lifesaver. And I never would have thought that was the last person I ever would have thought would have been the one that would have wanted to do this. So she went and got tested. And all her tests came out beautifully, but she wasn't a match. Okay. Not only does the girl go get tested for me and she's not a match, finds out she's not a match, what she does do is goes a step beyond that, and she volunteers for what they have called a swap program. Let me explain. My sister doesn't match me, but together we get on a list to say that at some point there's someone out there who needs a kidney, and they're not a match with their partner. But let's say that their partner's kidney matches me, my blood type and whatever, and my sister's matches them. You get it? They will get her kidney, and I will get their partner's kidney. We got a phone call. That phone call said that we were approved for the SWAT program. Thank God. Like I say, it's how he wants it to be done. His will be done. Um, this was after 2 years of her first being tested. We finally got that call. We got the call that they found a match. The other donor and recipient is in Illinois. So what's going to happen is her kidney is going to go to Illinois. Illinois kidney is going to come to me here in Virginia. And that's how we're going to end up getting our transplants. It's a crazy program. A lot of people haven't heard of it. If you don't know about it, immediately, as fast as you can, if you have somebody who's really willing to donate for you or whatever, and they're not a match, this may be something in your area or something you could talk to your doctors about, your nephrologist, your kidney team, whoever you have that's working for you when it comes to whatever type of kidney disease that you may have going on, or for whatever reason you need a transplant. Ask them about the SWAT program. A lot of people don't know about it, but it's really a blessing in disguise. It's not very, very popular right now, but it's being done, and people's lives are being changed behind it. Maybe 3 months have gone by. We get a phone call. We got a date. We have a date for transplant. We do. And that date will actually be August 14th, which is 2 days away. Monday morning, 5:30 in the morning, me and my sister will be showing up to VCU Hospital for transplant after almost 5 years of starting this journey. I brought you all up to date on what's been going on so far, what has happened during this journey. One thing for sure, two things for certain. You never think the day is going to come. It's true. I mean, in your heart, you hope for it. You know that it's possible, but you never think it's going to happen. It feels like forever. I swear it does. It feels like forever. Especially when I know, there are family members like my wife, my children, my mother, my sisters, my family, period, my acquaintances, my friends, my extended family. I have 9 brothers, not by my mom. These are not blood brothers, but I'd fight and die for each one of them just the same. They all have families, and we don't get a chance to, kick it together all the time like we used to. Everybody older and grown now, and, building families and stuff of their own. And I fully understand that, but I thank them also because, everybody who knows me and knows what's going on with me has had nothing but encouraging words to say, love to give, and that's what's kept me rooted. That's what's kept me grounded outside of my love for God, and His mercy enduring. I love my village, man. It is what it is. I love my village. All my family in Charlottesville, the way y'all show up, man, when someone in the family needs you, it's incredible. I just want to say that I love you all. Thank you all for being there. And I just want to let you know that for the next year, I'll be keeping you up to date with what's going on. So the next thing that you'll be seeing in this video, or maybe the next one, because this was kind of long, is the actual transplant. Us arriving to the hospital, the whole nine. Each day, our progress, and I'll be able to keep you up with what's going on each day afterwards, until it gets to maybe a couple times out of the week to each week. I'm gonna give you every single thing that you want to know, would like to know. I don't care about thumbs up. I don't care about likes. I would like for y'all to throw your comments down though. If you had PKD, if you know someone who's had PKD or a transplant or whatever, throw a few words down at the bottom. It'll definitely give me something to do while I'm in the hospital. Is to see you guys' comments or whatever. And like I said, I'll be doing more videos here in the future to let you know what's going on, so that you can keep up with the process. At least the first year. They said that's how long it takes for us to really know that this kidney is going to be viable. But just so you know, because it's a living donor kidney, I look to get anywhere from 30 to 40 more years of life. Thank God. Like I say, it's all in His time. And I just thank everybody for everything that you've done so far. Stay with me on this journey. It's going to be a crazy one. You're going to learn along with me what it's like to live the life of a transplant recipient. So with that being said, peace, holla at you, and see you in the next one. All right? Holla.